And now, you are watching WCTV News live at 5.
Welcome to WCTV's Newscast. I'm Ethan Spazarski.
And I'm Richard Dinini.
This week, Waynesburg University held their annual Charter Day. WCTV's Stone Magus, Brady Donovan, and myself give you an inside look into the day's events.
This past Tuesday at Waynesburg University was more than just any other ordinary Tuesday. The university celebrated its 176th Charter Day. Charter Day is a day that celebrates the founding of Waynesburg's charter from 1850 and is utilized to appreciate the history and past of Waynesburg and the students and staff that came long before 2026.
I think just a reminder that it was on this day, in 1850 that we were chartered by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We were founded earlier, and Hannah Hall was built, and the school was started in 1849, but the actual charter was granted in 1850. Why are we here? Which, is sort of signified by our motto, Fiat Lux, let there be light.
Each year during the chapel service, there is a guest speaker that comes and talks to the Waynesburg community. This year, the university welcomed back Lanny Fratteri. Fratteri spoke on his emotions that came with being able to speak at an event like Charter Day.
I was extremely honored that I know how important Charter Day is to this university, and the annual celebration, recommitment, rededication, and everything that Waynesburg University means, and the fact that President Lee thought I was deserving enough to have a place of honor center stage was extremely meaningful for me.
Like Fratteri, President Lee wants students of Waynesburg to not just remember, but to embrace and believe in the rich history at the university. For himself, President Lee spoke on his prior Charter Day experiences, with this being his 49th, and said that this one had the ability to stand above the rest.
And this Charter Day truly was a sense of the great spirit of this institution. You just feel it. Some moments you can really feel it, and today you felt that.
For more information on Charter Day this year and the history that comes along with it at Waynesburg, head to youtube.com and search WCTV Waynesburg and click on the Charter Day special episode. Reporting for WCTV Channel 14, I'm Stone Magus.
Last night was the opening for Waynesburg University's spring musical Godspell. WCTV's Gina Reeves gives us an exclusive interview at what the musical is so special about, along with the trailer for the musical created by Tyler Drum.
Lights, music, and a full audience filled the theater Wednesday night as Waynesburg University kicked off its production of Godspell. The musical, based on the Gospel of Matthew, uses humor, storytelling, and modern songs to share its message in a unique and engaging way. After weeks of rehearsals, cast members say the experience has brought them closer together, both on and off the stage.
It has been the best time I've ever had performing with the most wonderful, incredible, talented people. I got to reconnect with old friends and make a whole bunch of new friends, and it's just the best time ever. I love it. I love it. I love it so much.
As the central figure in the show, the role of Jesus helps guide the story's message of kindness, community, and faith.
The experience of being Jesus and sending a message out to people, for example, for the time is coming, when you hear the noise of battle near at hand, that's really powerful. And I don't know if a lot of people know that, but he's coming back soon. So that was really the message that I really wanted to send out tonight.
For many students, productions like this are a chance to grow as performers and share meaningful stories with their audience. Reporting for WCTV, I'm Gina Reeves.
Yesterday, Waynesburg University held their God Cares series on mental health. WCTV's Wyatt Clatterbaugh attended the event and gives us a look at what they discussed.
On Wednesday, March 25th, in the Bailey Room of the Benedum Dining Hall, Waynesburg held its God Cares About series. This week's topic focused on mental health and the emotions you feel when going through mental health struggles. University Counselor Tim Thunberg and Director of Clinical Services and Counseling Center Ed Sutter were the speakers for this week. Both Thunberg and Sutter spoke about just how important it is to take care of yourself and your mental health.
The first one that comes to mind is a recognition that it's okay, right? It's normal to experience this huge range of emotions. It's normal to experience both things that are painful and things that are comfortable. I always like to say to folks, it doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it feels good. It doesn't mean it's happy, but it's normal, right? And then hopefully, with that sense that this is something that is normal and expected in our lives, again, it takes some of the fear, some of the stigma out of it, and maybe there's something I can do about this thing.
Yeah, and then to piggyback on that, I think the other reality too that I like to communicate to people is that just because you're at a certain place when you start counseling or when you start identifying those emotions doesn't mean that's where you're going to stop. Doesn't mean that's where you're going to end. And I think that's where faith and mental health kind of ties in a lot too, is because if we believe that we're made new in Christ, then we don't have to keep doing the same things we've done. We don't have to keep feeding into the same patterns. We can make changes. We can be different. And we can gain control over our emotions instead of them controlling us. And it can create a new future for us. And I think that's really important to communicate as well.
Waynesburg Chaplain Anthony Jarrell is in charge of this series. Jarrell spoke on not only the importance of this discussion, but the entire God Cares About series as a whole.
This is just an opportunity for students to make those connections, to hear from faculty, staff, from guests who are experiencing that in their own lives, in their own careers and journeys, and inspire students to turn around and to dream and to go for different goals and see that in their own lives.
The God Cares About series goes on every Wednesday at noon, and a new speaker is presented every week. To learn more about the God Cares About series, you can contact Rebecca Giuliano or Anthony Jarrell at their Waynesburg emails. For WCTV, I'm Wyatt Clatterbaugh.
At 6:30 p.m. tonight, students are invited to the Stover Center 300 level for guest speaker Bill Kaufman. Kaufman will be speaking on his experience as an author, columnist, screenwriter, and small-town storyteller. Coming up for Waynesburg students is the Shark Tank competition. Students have the opportunity to pitch their startup idea with a chance to win a monetary prize. The university is also supporting and encouraging students to join the Beta Hope Walk for suicide prevention. The walk will be held in the auxiliary gym of Waynesburg University on March 28th. Registration is $25 per person or $15 per student. Part of the funds will go towards Team Hope in the Waynesburg University Counseling Center. To see all the upcoming events around campus, students can head to their MyConnect page to find that link.
Updates on the war with Iran.
Plus, an update on Pittsburgh's plans for how to handle the traffic during the draft.
As the war with Iran continues, U.S. troops are expected to be deployed out to the Middle East in the coming days. Sources were told by ESPN. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is saying that the deal to end the war is in sight. That sentiment is not notched, though, by Iran, as they suggest that the White House is negotiating with itself. Lee Waldman has the latest.
Airstrikes continue in the Middle East. A residential area in Tehran was hit, according to the Iranian Red Crescent. In central Israel, at least 9 people were hurt after an Iranian missile launch, emergency officials said. In the coming days, approximately 1,000 soldiers with the Army's 82nd Airborne Division are expected to deploy to the Middle East, according to 2 sources familiar with the matter. One of the sources said the brigade will be prepared to be called upon if needed.
they're serious about conducting some kind of a ground operation in Iran. Why else would you be sending the immediate ready brigade from the 82nd Airborne?
I would not support troops going into Iran, period. No ifs, ands, or buts, but I also want to be clear that this administration, at least in talks with us, has not voiced that they want that either.
This comes as President Donald Trump says the U.S. is winning this war and is close to ending it.
I can tell you they'd like to make a deal. And who wouldn't if you were there?
The U.S. has shared a 15-point list of expectations with Iran via Pakistan, two regional sources told CNN, who added that among the points included are limits on Tehran's defense capability, a cessation of support for proxies, and an acknowledgement of Israel's right to exist. However, Iran's semi-official news agency Fars is reporting Iran will not accept a ceasefire and believes it would not be logical for it to enter talks with the United States, citing a source with knowledge of the diplomatic activity. I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor, Allegheny County officials, and Pittsburgh Regional Transit officials held a meeting on Wednesday to discuss the plans of making travel smooth for fans attending the NFL Draft. Expanded services from April 23rd to 25th, with additional frequency and capacity on some route. In Washington County, Freedom Transit will have extended services hours and offer late-night return trips from downtown Pittsburgh. PRT said it will operate 4 football flyer bus routes during the draft week. The routes will operate every 15 minutes on April 23rd and 25th, and every 30 minutes on April 24th, from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. Beginning this weekend, the city will begin implementing road closures on the north side in 6 phases as the city prepares to set the stage for the draft. Road closures will expand to include downtown during draft week and will wind down through May 10th.
The Laurel Highlands School Board took action against 2 Laurel Highlands High School staff members who were charged with inappropriate interactions with the students last week. Last week, teacher Martin Gotti was charged and accused of attempting to kiss a student. On Tuesday, ROTC instructor Daniel Cervone was arrested for sexual assault charges stemming from allegations by a former student. During the school board meeting, the board voted to fire Gotti and put Cervone on leave. Dozens of parents voiced their anger to the school district following this to happen. Parents accused the school district of allowing culture and breaking a law and forcing abuse. Student board president Marcus Danino, who has the children in the school district, said the board is equally outraged and vowed to make the school safer immediately. Danino suggested that other school board meeting will be held soon where they will likely fire Cervone.
Airports around the nation are bracing for another crash of weekend travels as they wait to see if Congress will reach a deal to end the partial government shutdown. The impasse has driven mounting TSA officer shortages and resulted in the longest security wait times the agency has ever seen. Reed Binion reports.
Major airports are experiencing days where 40 to 50% of their staff are calling out because they simply cannot afford to report to work.
TSA's deputy administrator laying bare the desperate plight of TSA employees still working without pay and the crippling impact it's having on airport security wait times.
This has led to the highest wait times in TSA history, with some wait times greater than 4.5 hours.
Those lines out the door and into vehicle lanes in front of the airport at Houston's George Bush Intercontinental in Texas. The airport reported a 2-hour wait Wednesday, down from more than 4 hours earlier in the week. Airport officials say it can't continue like this.
We typically operate 37 TSA checkpoint lanes. At this point, TSA is only able to staff somewhere between 1/3 to 50% of them. That is not sustainable.
Flight attendants unions agree.
This is unsustainable. Flight attendants are saying pay TSA now.
TSA officials advocating for their workers.
Some are sleeping in their cars, selling their blood and plasma, received eviction notices, had their cars repossessed and utilities shut off.
But some of the most convincing testimony of the difficulty coming from the TSA workers themselves.
I feel angry. I feel used. I feel abused. This is not a job. This is a career. To know that we're coming on our 3rd missed paycheck in less than 5 months.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
That'll do it for national news. Coming up next is Brady Donman with your business and entertainment. But first, we step outside with Seth Adams for a quick look at the weather.
It has been a beautiful day here on Waynesburg campus. We reached 70 today. It's pretty hard to believe after the couple of weeks that we had. Going to see some more colder temperatures this weekend, but we got a beautiful week coming up. Also have some pretty extreme wind, 33 miles per hour gusts are reaching, but we have to wait till that full week's forecast comes up to see how good it's going to get right here on WCTV.
Hello everyone, I'm Brady Donovan here with your business and entertainment update. Paul McCartney has a new single out today called Days We Left Behind. Variety reports he also announced a new album, his first in 6 years. The Boys of Dungeon Lane will be released in May. The outlet reports the album is a look back at the former Beatles' childhood in Liverpool, England. Take a look at Saturn. NASA says new images show it with a level of detail that's never been seen before. They're from the James Webb Space Telescope and the Hubble Space Telescope. Saturn is a gas giant with icy rings. Easter spending is expected to reach record levels this year. That's according to the National Retail Federation. While egg prices have come down dramatically, the price for other key Easter staples like sweets, meat, and baked goods have all gone up. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan has details on how much you can expect to spend this year.
Easter spending is expected to break records this year, topping $24 billion. Shoppers are expected to shell out just under $196 per person. That's a more than $6 jump compared to last year.
I think consumers have opted to make savings in other places so that they can spend at events like these because they are important.
Mark Matthews with the National Retail Federation says most consumers say they'll be buying candy and food.
Food is really the key theme that runs through all the data this year.
So let's break down recent food prices. Overall, the price for candy is up 11% in the last 12 months, according to the latest Consumer Price Index report. Meat prices have jumped more than 8% in the last year, and prices have gone up for bakery products, fruits, and vegetables. The good news is egg prices have tumbled by more than 42%.
When we look at inflation, it's remaining stubbornly high, but most of it tends to be services inflation.
Matthew says there are things you can do to help keep costs down.
Signing up to loyalty programs and looking out for those deals.
Cooking a meal instead of eating out can also help lower your costs. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Health officials are closely watching a new COVID variant after a rise in cases. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the variant known as cicada has been detected in at least 23 countries. While it doesn't account for a significant amount of cases in the U.S., it has been found in wastewater in more than 2 states. Experts say it's too early to know if it will spread more widely or how well vaccines will hold up, but they're watching for a possible summer surge. Today in entertainment news, an iconic film is back in theaters and an acclaimed play is revived with its writer in the leading role. Here's David Daniel with our Hollywood Minute.
The day Rome falls, there will be a shout of freedom such as the world has never heard before.
Here's your chance to see Ben-Hur on the big screen. The 1959 epic, which won Best Picture and 10 other Oscars, has been remastered in 4K and returns to theaters March 29th for 4 days only. More info at fathomentertainment.com.
This store is my story.
Ince Choi wrote Kim's Convenience 15 years ago and originally played the part of the son. The play about a Korean family-run store inspired a television series and now a traveling revival of the acclaimed show in which he's playing the father.
But I always wanted to play Appa one day, and I got older.
and had kids. And they call me Appa, so they've been preparing me for this role for their whole lives.
Kim's Convenience, what Choi calls his love letter to first-generation immigrants, is playing in Los Angeles through April 19th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That will do it for your business and entertainment update. I'm Brady Donovan. When we return on the newscast, Joe Cirillo has your sports.
Oh, I didn't see you there. I'm Mia Hinkins, and welcome to Buell Hall, home of Waynesburg University's Department of Communication. If you visit our campus, you'll have the opportunity to attend some comm classes, enjoy lunch with our students, and watch us in action. We hope to see you here soon at Waynesburg University.
To schedule your personal visit, go to waynesburg.edu/admissions/schedule-visit. Come grow with us at Waynesburg University.
Hello, sports fans. I'm Joe Cirillo. Let's get into the latest in Waynesburg sports. Yesterday, men's tennis welcomed Washington and Jefferson College to the courts of the Bechtel Family Tennis Facility here in Waynesburg. Both teams came into the meeting being 1-0 in conference play, and W&J has remained undefeated afterwards. Waynesburg's single point in the 6-1 loss came from Noah Beiser against Akers Jackson in a singles match. All doubles matches went in favor of the Presidents. Men's tennis travels to Allegheny tomorrow afternoon for their third conference opponent. Baseball earned their first conference win this past Tuesday against Franciscan in the first game of the doubleheader, 6-5. Dalton Lucy, pitching 6 shutout innings, accomplished his first win of the season by striking out 5, walking none, and allowing 2 hits. Jose Lopez Jr., with 2 hits on the afternoon, achieved the walk-off hit with 2 outs, bringing in Hunter Hamilton from second. The Barons came back with vengeance in the second game, however, crushing the Yellow Jackets 13-7 with 13 hits. Evan Spector gets his first win of the season for the Barons, and Xander Allen notches his second straight loss. The Jackets, with an 8-12 overall record and 1-3 conference record, are back in action on Saturday when they travel to Washington and Jefferson for a PAC doubleheader. First pitch scheduled for 1 p.m. Also this past Tuesday, softball traveled to Allegheny for their second conference doubleheader after splitting with Washington and Jefferson. With 12 total hits in the first and 16 in the second, Waynesburg secured 2 conference wins against Allegheny, 8-3 in the first and 11-9 in the second after 6 innings once the game concluded due to darkness. The Jackets are currently at the Waynesburg Baseball and Softball Complex hosting the Pitt Greensburg Bobcats. In the first game, the Bobcats run-ruled the Yellow Jackets 10-0, and Game 2 is currently happening 1-1 as your score in the top of the 5th, making their record 14-5 overall and 3-1 in the conference. Women's golf teed up this afternoon at 1 p.m. at the Grove City Invitational at Grove City Country Club for the first tournament of the spring season. Men and women outdoor track and field plan to attend the Tim Weaver Memorial in West Liberty, West Virginia for this coming weekend. For updates on all results of contests, matches, and games, frequent WaynesburgSports.com for all your Jacket needs. Now to Greene County sports. Carmichael's baseball are 2-1 after 2 victories against Mapletown, 8-2 and 11-1. Carmichael's are actively playing Fraser as Mapletown gets a day off after beginning the season 0-3 and will host Monessen tomorrow afternoon. Jefferson Morgan struggles in their season beginnings after going 0-4. This afternoon, the Rockets host Greensburg Central Catholic. Waynesburg Central is 1-3 after notching their first victory over Brownsville 5-1. Their contest against Bentworth tonight has been canceled. West Greene this evening faces Avella at home in search for their first victory after beginning with 4 straight losses. For Greene County softball, Carmichael's dominated Fraser 10-0 last night and have a rest day until facing Greene County rival Jefferson Morgan. The Rockets also have a day off until the contest after facing McGuffey and winning 5-2 yesterday. Mapletown has canceled its last 2 games against Washington and Carmichael's. They are scheduled to play again on Monday versus West Green. Waynesburg Central is attending the Ripken Experience at Pigeon Forge. Over the past few days, they are 1-1 over the trip overall, with 2 games being played yesterday, and those finals have not yet been registered, and a game this afternoon as well. West Green is also participating in the Ripken Experience event as their trip begins this afternoon against Wellston of Ohio. Happening opening day to all who celebrate. Major League Baseball has begun after opening night yesterday with storied franchises of the Yankees and the Giants. The Yankees achieved the first victory of the season, 7-0, even after the star of Aaron Judge struck out 4 times in a row, the first since September of 2024 for himself, and the first ever after a reigning MVP has struck out 4 times on opening day. This was also the introduction of the automated balls and strikes, or ABS, system. For the first ever challenge came in the top of the 4th against Logan Webb of the Giants on a called strike that was unsuccessfully appealed. And now for the Pirates, they are back to giving those fans hope. Get those hats on. Actually take them off because they're crushing those hopes early. Paul Skeens, the reigning Cy Young winner of the National League, only saw 2/3 of an inning after a 5-run bottom first for the Mets. The game ended 11-7 with the Mets coming out on top. Pirates and the Mets battle out again on Saturday, March 28th. For the Penguins, they are away this evening in Ottawa, Canada to face the Senators. In their last 10 games, they are 4-3-3 with 86 total points and 3rd in the Metropolitan Division. With upcoming conference and divisional opponents of the Red Wings, Islanders, Lightning, and Panthers, the Penguins need to come alive if they want a good seeding in the NHL playoffs beginning in mid-April. And finally, the countdown enters under 30 days for the NFL Draft coming to Pittsburgh and gets us even closer to the 2026 NFL season. And if you're like us here in the Department of Communication, you can find Draft Day with Kevin Costner on Amazon Prime Video, free to watch. That'll do it for your sports update here on the Newscast. When we return, Seth Adams has your weather and the day ahead.
Welcome back to the Newscast, live at 5. I'm Seth Adams with your weather. Today it has been beautiful, to say the least, at least for me. High of 76 today. It's been in the mid-70s a majority of the afternoon and evening. Tonight we're going to see some 40-degree temperatures alongside some rain. It'll start around 11 a.m., the rain, and kind of go out through the night into tomorrow morning. But today we saw some wind as well, 33 miles per hour gusts were reaching, but other than that, it's been a really beautiful day, but for the next couple days, we're not going to see that too much, as tomorrow we're only going to see a high of 48. So kind of back to that 40 temperatures alongside Saturday too, high of 44, but sunny. Doubleheader, Waynesburg University Sports Network will be there for the doubleheader against Grove City for softball. So if you're going to go out and watch the game, bring maybe a blanket or a hoodie because it is going to get a little cold and it's always windy down there. So please be prepared for that. And then for Sunday, we're going to see the temperatures go back up again into the 60s and low of 46 and some partly cloudy skies. But this is something I'm really excited to show is this week coming up. It's just going to get really, really warm. I mean, take a look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 69, 75, 78 with cloudy skies, a chance of rain on Wednesday, but man, a big shift from a couple weeks ago. And this March weather, they say it comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb, and we're getting more of the lamb weather lately, in which 70s are going to be expected to stay, it seems. Hopefully it sticks around for April for baseball and softball. That's all I got for you guys. Back over to the desk with Ethan and Richie.
That's going to do it here for the Newscast Live at 5. For everyone behind the scenes and in front of the camera, thank you for watching.
Stay tuned on our WCTV YouTube page and social media platforms for more Waynesburg content.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.